To our cities and our countries, hoping refuge we will find. There are people dreaming of the homes they left behind. Journeyed not for glory, their motive wasn't greed, a voyage of survival across the stormy sea. To the city of Chicago, as evening shadows fall, there are people dreaming of the hills in the city of Chicago, as evening shadows fall, there are people dreaming of the hills of Donegal. Some of them knew fortune, some of them knew fame, more of them knew hardship and died upon the plains. They spread throughout the nation, they rode the railway cars, brought their songs and music to ease their lonely hearts. To the city of Chicago, as evening shadows fall, continue as before, families and orphans fleeing from the wars. Their motive isn't evil, all they want is peace, a voyage of survival across the raging sea. To our cities and our countries, hoping refuge they will find. There are people dreaming of the homes they left behind. was thinking as we were ending that song, we wrote an extra verse onto Luca Bloom's song, The City of Chicago. And he asked us not to call it The City of Chicago, so we called it Waves of Immigration. And it's about the waves of immigration, the Syrian people, and now the Ukrainian people. Ireland has taken in about 70,000 Ukrainians in the last 8 months.
Yeah, and they're taking in about 1,000 every month. They're really doing their part. A lot of families have looked for a place within their home to find room for a mother and her children. The Irish government has a policy that every Ukrainian that comes to Ireland is given the right to work. All of the children are enrolled in schools.
Some stipend.
They're given a stipend until they can kind of get on their feet. And there's been so many television shows about the Ukrainian situation in Ireland. They all want to go back home.
So the original song was written about the period of famines in Ireland, 1845 to the 1870s, where there were 8 million people in 1845. There were 4 million people in 1870.
In Ireland.
2 million had died, 2 million had immigrated, mostly to America. So my name is Eog O'Tuama, and I'm from Cork in Ireland.
I'm Christy Martin from San Diego, California.
And we collectively go under the name 4 Shillings Short, which is a quotation from a James Joyce short story about a musician who didn't get paid all that was due to her, so she ended up 4 shillings short. And I thought that that was a very accurate and apt description of the state of musicians in this world, and I'm sticking to my story. So there are 2 very large donation baskets up there for tonight's concert. Thank you very much. So we started off with some tunes on the hammer dulcimer.
On the hammer dulcimer, on a big trapezoidal soundboard, string stretch across, played with little hammers. The American hammer dulcimer came from Scotland. The Scottish, during the time of these highland clearances in the 1600s and 1700s, they settled here in the Appalachian Mountains and brought with them their music and their dulcimers. And so our American hammer dulcimer is based on the Scottish instrument. This is a 4.5 octave, partially chromatic dulcimer with dampers made by Rick Fogle from Seattle, Washington.
But the instrument is originally based on an instrument from Persia, from modern-day Iran, called the santur.
And then I was playing the bouzouki, the Irish bouzouki, the tenor mandolin. This is a short scale Irish bouzouki, and now I'm going to be playing the alto mandolin called the mandola.
And I've been playing tin whistles, penny whistles, including the big low D wooden tin whistles.
Oh.
You have to wrap your brain around that.
Now, famous Irish woman, pirate, was Grace O'Malley, Groin Whale. She was born in 1530, and she died in 1603 at the age of 73, which is a ripe old age for a person in those times. She was the daughter of a chieftain, of a seafaring chieftain, the O'Malley clan. She was born on Clare Island in Clew Bay, in County Mayo. And her father was a captain of galley ships. The galley ships were like the Viking longboats, but with huge sails and oars, requiring 70 to 100 men to work the sails, to work the oars, to man the ship. Her father had 10, 15 galleys, and he was a pirate. He would sack the ships from Spain and France and England coming into Galway Bay on the west of Ireland and Clew Bay. And Grania, she wanted to be a captain.
A pirate.
A pirate. She told her father that at a young age, and he said, no, there's no way you can do that. Your hair is too long. It'll catch in the ropes. So she chopped all her hair off and became known as Groina Moel, which means bald Groina. Groina, at the height of her career, commanded 700 people. She had 7 galleys at that time, and she was a thorn in the side of the English, because she would, like Robin Hood, she would sack these ships and share it with the people in her clan. Well, Lord Bingham, who was at that time appointed by Queen Elizabeth I to be the Lord of Connaught,
The governor of
Connaught, the western
part of
province.
Ireland.
He had captured Groina and put her in prison. She'd escaped, and he continued to pester her, and so she decided to ride up the Thames in several galley ships and meet with Queen Elizabeth I and ask her to please get Lord Bingham off my back and give me the freedom to do what I want to do.
So she refused to bow to Queen Elizabeth I because she was a queen. So why would a queen bow to another queen?
And they were about the same age. And so Queen Elizabeth wrote a letter that gave her permission to do as she pleases for the rest of her life. So this is a song about the life of Grace O'Malley.
And we combine it with a song, with a verse of the song in the Irish language written by Padraig Pearse, one of the leaders of the 1916 rising against the English. And this song celebrates Groina Moel, the bald Groina is coming with her own Irish soldiers and not foreigners, and
Coming
rid
back
Ireland
to
of
Ireland.
foreigners.
So, Oro Shedabahawaila, you are welcome back home, Groina.
I'll find you
the sea, queen of Ireland. Brave and bold on every hand. You fight for freedom, you fight for your land. You fight to keep your only decent land. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Follow grace of Mommy. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Follow grace of Mommy. Come boldly men on down to the shore with me. Come sail my ships on the big, big sea. I'll ride you all to a life full of mystery. Say goodbye to the boys you used to meet. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Follow grace of Mommy. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Behold, up we go. Follow grace of Mommy. Oh, roll, shit around the white heaven. Oh, roll, shit around the white heaven.
By the way, usually I ask after our first song, are we sounding okay? Are we sounding all right?
Is it too loud?
Is it too loud?
Too loud?
No.
Sorry.
Are we balanced?
Yes.
I mean, mentally?
Well, you know, it's a little early to tell.
Well, we're musicians. Did you ever hear the one about the little boy who came to his mother and said, Mommy, 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 when I grow up, I'm going to be a musician. And she said, son, you can have one or the other.
You
You
can't
can either grow up or you can be a musician. Thank you very much. All right, Christy's first instrument was the sitar from India.
Now, the sitar from India is made out of a gourd, out of a pumpkin that's been cured to be made into the body of the instrument. There are 20 strings on the sitar, 2 layers of strings, 2 bridges. The larger bridge holds 7 main playing strings, of which 3 are drone strings that sound like this. The drone strings provide a layer of harmony. 3 rhythm strings, like the 5th string on the 5-string banjo, keeps the rhythm going, and 1 main playing string. The sound travels down through the larger bridge into the body of the instrument, causing a smaller secondary bridge of 13 sympathetic resonating strings to vibrate. So when you hit the notes on top, the strings underneath answer back like this. That echo you hear are the strings resounding on their own. You can also reach underneath with your long pinky fingernail and grab the sympathetic strings in a cascade. The music of India is called the raga, R-A-G-A, and the ragas are in the thousands and have been passed down in an unbroken oral tradition from teacher to student for centuries. I studied with a student of the great sitarist, Ravi Shankar, who taught George Harrison of the Beatles to play the sitar. We're going to play for you a classical Indian raga called Yaman Kalyan, a raga of love. In 4 movements, like Western classical music, Indian classical music is developed in movements. The first movement, alap, is very slow and takes you up and down the scale, introducing the notes and how they're played up and down the scale. The second movement picks up the tempo, jor, and continues to explore the notes of the raga. The third movement introduces a slow, stately melody in the Vilambit style, and then we finish off with a faster melody called gut. So this is Raga Yaman Kalyan, a raga of love, on the sitar.
And of course, it's called the sitar because you have to sit to play. Otherwise, it would be called the stantar. And this is the first time I've ever said in the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Cambria, you know. So we have been on the road for 25 years full time, and we're just starting to head east in about 2 weeks' time, and we'll be gone from the west coast for another 2 years. So that's kind of our cycle.
Now, I don't know if anyone is old enough to remember Joan Baez at Woodstock singing Joe Hill. Well, this is a version of Joe Hill that we worked up recently. And Joe Hill was a Swedish-American labor organizer who was framed for a murder that he did not commit in Salt Lake City and executed by firing squad. And he was then, and has become since then, a famous figure in the labor struggle against the bosses. So anyway, Joe Hill. Joe Hill's last will. My will is easy to decide, for there is nothing to divide. My kin don't need to fuss and moan, moss does not cling to a rolling stone. My body, if I could choose, I would to ashes it reduce, and let the merry breezes blow my dust to where some flowers grow. Perhaps some fading flower then would come to life and bloom again. This is my last and final will. Good luck to all of you. Joe Hill. I dreamt I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. In Salt Lake, Joe, says I to him standing by my bed. They framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I didn't die. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper boss has killed you, Joe, shot you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, says Joe, I didn't die. Says Joe, I didn't die. And standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they can never kill went on to organize. Went on to organize. Joe Hill ain't dead, he says to me. Joe Hill ain't ever died. Where working people are on strike, Joe Hill is at their side. Joe Hill is at their side. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where working folks defend their rights, it's there you find Joe Hill. It's there you'll find Joe Hill. I dreamt I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. So, people give us instruments all the time, but we have a moratorium on it now because we have no more room in the van.
But this one was given to us. It's a charango, which is a native instrument from the Andes Mountains, popular in the music of Peru and Bolivia and Ecuador, and it's traditionally made out of the shell of an armadillo. This one's made out of wood. It has 10 strings like the lute, and was influenced by the Spanish medieval guitar, the vihuela, the medieval mandolin, the bandera, and the lute. So we're going to play a traditional piece from the Andes called Titicaca, which celebrates Lake Titicaca, which borders between Bolivia and Peru. It's the highest lake in the Andes at 12,000 feet, and is said to be the origin of the Incas. And so from there, then, we do a song that was popularized here by, again, Joan Baez. It's a song that dates back to the 1600s to Spain, a song called De Colores. There are at least 8 verses that we know of. It's a religious song, but became very popular here during the United Farm Workers movement. And an additional verse was written during that time to honor the farm workers in Cesar Chavez. So we do just 3 verses of this. The first one, De Colores, se visten los campos en la primavera, the beautiful colors that blanket or carpet the countryside in the spring. Then de colores son los pajarillos, the colors of the birds que vienen de afuera, that are in the sky. And then the beautiful de colores es el arco iris, of the beautiful rainbow. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. And that is why I love all the many colors that give me so much joy. Then it goes on, canta el gallo, hear the sound of the rooster, and la gallina, the hen, and then los polluelos, the little chickens. In the final verse, de colores, of the people. Si de blanco y negro y rojo y azul y castaño, the colors of the people. De gente que ríe y estrecha la mano, reaching out their hands with joy to each other, and who know que sabe de la libertad, who know freedom in their hearts. So we start with Titicaca and go on to De Colores. And if you know it, please sing along.
come on me. I know we go on a bit long, but we do. So we have 2 more songs in the set, and then we'll take a break.
short break.
I'll be up at CD Land and mailing list and all that. I was using an alto recorder and a soprano recorder in there. No, the second last song is a song in the Irish language, my first language, and it was written by 3 people I knew well who were sitting around drinking poteen. Not the legal stuff, but the illegal stuff. Poteen is made from potatoes.
It's moonshine.
Potato
Irish
moonshine. Or it's called in the west of Ireland poteen, but where I come from it's called poteen. And they were sitting around and they concocted, Sean O'Riordan, he was the first lecturer in Irish music at an Irish university, in Cork University, a colleague of my father's, and our families grew up together. He was the guy who really revitalised Irish music and brought back the real Irish music as opposed to the Clancy Brothers pub song kind of stuff. And he started the group from which the chieftains came. They were called Kildory Holing at the time. And so anyway, they concocted this story about a man who's out with a pitchfork and he's there to go work at a neighbour's house to bring in the hay. And they encounter a goat, a billy goat, a mad billy goat. And he tries to catch the billy goat, but he jumps on top of his back trying to control him. And the billy goat tries to get him off his back and jumps over fences and ditches and rivers and tries to dash him against rocks and all this kind of thing. No avail. So he's there holding on to the pitchfork still, holding on to the goat's horn and all this kind of thing. And they encounter a policeman who's gathered some people to catch the mad billy goat. And the billy goat didn't think much of this, ripped some holes in the policeman's new pants in a strategic place. And then there was a parish priest out for a walk with his evening prayers, and he swore that it was the devil coming his way with the pitchfork and the goat. And so it's a sing-along. It's called Unpuck Erbwille.
And appropriately, I'm playing the Bowron, which is made of goat skin.
When they run out of goat skin to make the Bowron, which is spelled B-O-D-H-R-A-N, but pronounced Bowron, when they run out of goat skin and they have to use dog skin, it's called the Bow-Wow-Ron. Sorry, you can go boo. You can go boo if you want. I like boos. Machwal them sheer them droidi borga, peak and claw is made dull the middle. Kechas fiam, a gummer kioig, ach bokam from the say it will hallelujah, 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 top bucket will hallelujah, 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 Tom Pucker Willer.
The billy goat is crazy.
The rimmer chasna cheerloiger is the ocean chora het good na winge. It's just get over his chest not tortoga, cause man no need to read that window. Hallelujah, 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 Tom Pucker Willer, hallelujah, 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 Tom Pucker Willer. Near all check had a grips go down, not the really force of me ville. Some son the hash
sé an léim bevó le fan an borna alleluia, 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 Vi går de moren meine roostig, is de valje voor zich een zingen klippe. De woordje rap, da ergste toinen, zal is de nodige je checken wil. Halleluja, 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 le haige trano, vi en sager troske hemmen nagine. She doet gebe an deal beroles, a halven jo et pagan with the halleluja, 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 pagan with the halleluja, with this last song that we wrote. I'm sorry we're going a bit over the hour now, but
That's what we do.
this is what we do. So when my father died in 2006 and my mother died in 2012, we came back to the States and people just say to us, oh, we're sorry you lost your father, we're sorry your mother passed away, oh, you're sorry your father passed on. We said, no, no, no. They didn't pass on. We didn't lose them. They died. They actually died, like, you know. So there's an acceptance in Ireland of life and death, and it's a continuum, you know. So everybody is with the earth and with the air and with the elements. So it's a very natural thing. So we went online and we looked at a web page devoted to euphemisms for death. And we have 6 verses of a song of euphemisms for death. And we didn't use kick the bucket, or bought the farm, or on the runway, or on the graveyard shift, or anything like that.
Well, every songwriter hopes that one song might actually make the charts, you know? So we figured 4 shillings short, we might have a shot at this one. Billboard, here we come. 4 shillings short. Grim Reaper Rag, number 10. You know, we're not aiming too high there. Well, we've already had has set in. Answered the last roll call, let the funeral begin. Don't count me in the census, I've left the earthly form. If you need to reach me, dust off your Ouija board. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. 6 feet under, I'm lying down the earth. Think the oxygen haven't passed the point of no return. I'm pushing up them daisies and helping feed the worms. Now I'm a root inspector for that heavenly compost heap. Was traded to the angels, playing a harp and sprouted wings. I joined the choir celestial, it's my final curtain call. Glory, hallelujah, I've risen above it all. I'm going home feet first. Place my urn upon the hearth, I've fallen off the curb. I've finally flown the coop, I've given up the ghost. I'm permanent vacation, and that's all she wrote. And that's all she wrote.
By the way, our thanks to Randy and Mary for getting this
All set up and
premises all set up. And we haven't recorded that song. Well, we have recorded, but it's not
it's
on
going
our
to be on
CD yet.
our new CD coming out sometime
In next year.
All right, well, we're going to take a nice intermission, so get up, stretch, and bathroom's over there, there's a bathroom around the corner, and CDs.
This instrument is also a stop on the church pipe organ. It's called the crumhorn. It's a capped double reed instrument from the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. And this is the bass crumhorn. I'll also be playing a tenor crumhorn in this first song of this set. And it sounds like this. Chrissy, maybe demonstrate the gold psaltery.
Yes.
And we were playing the bowed psaltery as well.
Medieval instrument from about 1,200 years ago. And it's set up like the piano. Back in the day, it wouldn't have had this many strings, but it's played with a little bow between the string.
Yeah.
Like so. The
And
bowed psaltery, P-S-A-L-T-E-R-Y.
And it was improved by a German, of course, in the 20th century. That was very good. Dankeschön, Dankeschön. I lived in Stuttgart for 5 years, so I can make fun of the Germans.
So we're going to do a piece that we usually do in December, and this time of year, a hymn, a Swedish hymn in Latin called Gaudete. It was popularized by, of all things, a English rock group called Steel Eye Span when they brought it out. And then we'll also, after Gaudete, which means rejoice, Gaudete, we'll go to a piece by Michael Pretorius called the Spangoletta.
now a song in the Irish language from Christy, her second song that she learned in the Irish language. And it's a lullaby.
Well, I've been studying Irish for off and on for about 10 years. I spent a summer in a couple of weeks in Donegal studying at Glencullen, learning a different dialect than Aoc speaks, which was kind of
They
difficult.
speak really funny up there.
They do. Like, you know, in Munster Irish, which is the Irish spoken in County Cork and Kerry, if you're going to say, how are you? You'd say, Conastantu. But in the north, in Donegal, you say, Kachai Martatu. And if you say, I'm okay, in Munster it'd be Time Gama. And in Donegal it'd be Tam Gamai. You know, there's just a really do Tamigamai. So it's a
They're
different.
very twisted up in Donegal because they're very close to Scotland, and you know, and they wear skirts in
Well,
Scotland.
they're very influenced by Scots Gaelic as well. So this song called Daring Day is a lullaby, as Aoc said. Daring Day is kind of nonsense words, soothing words that a parent would say to their child to calm them down as they're lying them down to sleep. Daring Day, Daring Day. The nighthawk is out in the heather. Daring Day, the brown bittern calls in the reeds. Daring Day, the cows will go out to pasture at the break of day, and my child will go to mind them. Daring Day, the moon will rise and the sun will set, and the cows will return at the close of day. Daring Day, I will let my child go picking blackberries, but sleep soundly until daybreak.
Ding, 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 ding. Ligger man langa björkas mer. Ding, 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 ding. Ligger man langa björkas mer. Ding, 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 ding. Akkalukas av kapanjan mer. Ding, 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 ding. Akkalukas av kapanjan mer. So we're going to carry on with a song that was written by an old friend of ours from Cork. He's one of the best songwriters in Ireland, and he was also a student of my father's at the university. So he writes both in Irish and in English. And I knew him when he was 13. I was music director for several shows at the school I graduated from. But it's a song expressing his wish for a united Ireland, Ireland free. And we precede that with a story. You Have to Love the Irish is the title of this email. This is the transcription of an actual radio conversation between the British and the Irish off the coast of Kerry, Ireland, in October of 1998. The radio conversation was released by the Chief of Naval Operations. Irish, please divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. British, recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the north to avoid a collision. Irish, negative. You will have to divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. British, this is the captain of a British Navy ship. I say again, divert your course. Irish, negative. I say again, you will have to divert your course. British, this is the aircraft carrier HMS Britannia, the second largest ship in the British Atlantic Fleet. We're accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and numerous support vessels. Demand you change your course 15 degrees north. I say again, that is 15 degrees north, or countermeasures will be undertaken to ensure the safety of the ship. Irish, we are a lighthouse. Your call. Ireland tree. One thing these eyes would love to see before the darkness falls on me. I would love to see Ireland tree. I would not shed one single drop of blood between the mountains and the sea. I would not see one single child laid down, but I would love to see Ireland free. Why do the men of God not come clean? Why do the churches not agree that there's no difference in their God? Why do the men of God not come clean? I would love to see Ireland free. One thing this heart would love to see before the darkness falls on me. I would love to see Ireland free. I would love to see Ireland free. And just in case you wonder what that's all about, Ireland has been partitioned since 1922.
Yep. Well, we're going to bring out the sitar again. And this is a raga. In fact, it's the last raga that my first teacher taught me, Raga Kirwani. And last year, well actually it was 2021, we resumed touring after COVID, and we were doing a lot of benefit concerts because people were so generous with us during COVID. People would, buy 10 CDs at a time. Like, we had one guy in Maryland, every month he would buy 10 CDs and give them away. I mean, that just was so amazing because we had no work. We didn't have like unemployment insurance or anything like that. And, besides the stimulus checks, we didn't have any income.
And people would send us their stimulus checks and say, we don't need it.
Oh, yeah, it was just, we were overwhelmed with so much generosity by the people that...
So if anyone needs to go alone...
So we did a lot of benefit concerts, and one of them that we did was in Fort Collins, Colorado, at a theater that we play regularly, the Bob Blue Theater, a little black box 100-seater theater. And we were doing 2 benefit concerts in the artistic director's driveway because, again, COVID, everything was outdoors. And the night before the concert, I got word that my uncle and my aunt in Tennessee had been in a serious car accident, hit head-on by somebody who ran a red light, and they were in the hospital in Nashville. And my aunt was going to survive, but my uncle went into surgery, and he was in a coma, and we weren't sure if he would make it. So I thought, my Uncle Christopher, he was a Vietnam vet, a decorated Vietnam veteran, and we were very close. I was named after him, Christina, and he loved the sitar, and I would always, anytime we were visiting with them, bring out the sitar, and he would just be so happy. So I thought, I have to have a raga for my Uncle Chris. So I went through my notes and I found Raga Kirwani, which I had never developed, but I thought, this is my chance to do this. So I looked into what is the emotion of Raga Kirwani. Raga Kirwani is a raga of sadness, of loss, of melancholy. It's a raga for our time because so many of us have grief that we feel for the loss of so much that has happened during the pandemic. So many friends and colleagues and family members have died. And it seems like we're at a time where so many people are dying. So many of our friends unexpectedly have died in this last year. So this raga is a raga that we all can use to feel grief. Grief is something that we feel because we love, because we took the risk to feel, to be connected. And so when we grieve, it is honoring our connection with people. So Raga Kirwani for all of us, for what we're feeling.
So we have a song that Christy wrote, and then we'll do some instrumental on the hammer dulcimer and end with something else that remains to be determined. But thank you all for coming, and I don't know how many people know of this from the Unitarian Universalist congregation or from publicity or on our mailing list. But we hope to be back here in a couple of years again. And
Probably 2025.
probably
That's-
2025, yeah.
Yeah, there's
And our thanks to our dear friends who are not here tonight, Marianne Anderson and Ames, who gave us a great place to stay last year and this year when we were here. In absentia, we're very grateful for them.
We gave up paying rent in 1998. We've been full-time itinerant musicians since then. And we always say we only need two things to go any place on the planet: a place to play and a place to stay. So Cambria has just been so generous to us over the years, and we feel at home here. We feel a part of this community. So thank you all for being here and welcoming us again to your beautiful, wonderful, amazing place, town. It's dear to our hearts.
Indeed. And we took a walk on the Fiscalini Ranch today. It was so gorgeous.
Well, this is a song I wrote during COVID, when John Lewis died. The congressman from Georgia, he said a lot of things that inspired me. But this is definitely one of the quotes that
Do you need a music stand?
no. You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Release the need to hate, to harbor division, and the enticement of revenge. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won. Make good trouble. And so the chorus is kind of paraphrasing. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. So feel free to sing along. It's just repeated many times. And I also quote many people in this. Greta Thunberg, we can't save the world by playing by the rules. Michelle Obama, when they go low, we'll go high. Gandhi, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Dr. King, the arc of the moral universe is long. Betty Williams, who is a peace fighter, or a peace
Nobel
laureate in Northern Ireland.
Ireland.
Nonviolence is the weapon of the strong. Maria Corrigan, another organizer of peace marches. Difference, the essence of humanity. Queen Latifah, dreams become reality when we put our minds to it. So these all inspired this song. in our hands to build a world that's fair for everyone. Be strong to be the light and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light and keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. We can't save the world by playing by the rules. When the facts are clear, there can be no excuse. Our planet is at stake, and we all want to change and end our dependency on fossil fuels. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. All colors, all faiths, and all creeds. Difference, difference, the essence of humanity. It's not how much you take, it's the difference that you make. Embrace the dream of this reality. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. Yeah. It takes courage to face the problems that we see. From climate change to police brutality, the people are rising up to say we've had enough. The time has come to switch from me to we. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Be strong, be the light, and keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. We haven't recorded, well, we did record that one, and it's going to be on our next full album, so, yeah.
But we are going to be first, before that, coming out with a full sitar album,
All
a
sitar.
collection of all the sitar.
Yeah.
The two pieces we did tonight, which we have recorded, and other pieces from the past.
Yeah, so get on the mailing list if you're interested in those. So while we were
Okay.
in Ireland, I think we'll end with this, right?
Polkas.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. We do the polkas and then we end.
Okay. So while we were in Ireland, we participated in a lot of Irish sessions in Cork and Kerry, County Cork and Kerry, where the polka reigns supreme. So this is 5 polkas all put together.
Polka side. There used to be a group in San Francisco called Polka Side. And I saw them at the Great American Music Hall a couple of times, and they used to have the polka sluts. The polka sluts would come out and grab anyone who wasn't dancing and make sure they were dancing. And the lead people were in Wellington boots and various other things. It was mad.
Lots of good
trying to get below from leaf for the lighter lump. Beavers punch your bottom, from down from leaf for the lighter lump. Vomiting was wrong, from down from leaf for the lighter lump. Bishop was sign, sit down, down from leaf for the lighter lump. Bread some bag of more, the from down from leaf for the lighter lump. Being cheat and darn, from down from leaf for the lighter lump. Total sliding down and found out funny for the lighter lump. Christmas and Harper Floyd, put up funny for the lighter lump. I think that'd be a fitting thing to end with. And that was a song taught to me by my grandfather when I was a little child. A little childine. So we wrote this song that we're going to finish with. It's on our blue album there called Icons and Imagery. It's based on the bumper stickers on the back of our van, the bumper stickers on our cases, and many others. We didn't include in this song politicians are like diapers, they should be changed often for the same reason. It was a bit too long to fit in there. But we did include lots. And we buy a lot of these, or get given a lot of these bumper stickers up at one of our favourite venues in the Bay Area, the San Gregorio General Store just off of Highway 1. And we got a new one. We're going to redecorate the van in Sedona, Arizona, when we have some time there. And the new one we got is 3 simple words, and it says, fight, truth, decay. I love it. It's so simple. Fight, truth, decay. Yeah. And of course, we're going to put on one place or another the one Randy gave to us last year, which is a Unitarian Universalism, where all your answers are questions. We love that too.
The chorus is, every mother is a working mother. Create the world you want to see. Hatred is not a family value. Celebrate diversity. And it goes like this.
Every mother is a working mother. Create the world you want to see. Hatred is not a family value. Celebrate diversity.
Want to give that a try?
Every mother is a working mother. Create the world you want to see. Hatred is not a family value. Celebrate diversity.
Minds are like parachutes, they only function when they're open.
Marry for love.
Think organically, eat locally.
We were all immigrants once.
We all live downstream, fear is an illusion.
Men who changed diapers changed the world.
Question the answers,
Plant seeds and sing songs.
our family value, celebrate diversity. Ancient forests are irreplaceable.
No fracking way.
Time is an illusion. Money is like manure. It needs to be spread